Forensic duplicate, disk analysis and investigation. This is one of the biggest unit in digital forensics. So let's start with what is forensic duplication and explain the terms related to it. Forensic duplication is an accurate copy of data that can be presented as an evidence in the court. Forensic duplicate is a bit-by-bit copy of the source, and the tools that can be used for this are DD, FTK, access data and so on. Qualified forensic duplicate, it is also a bit-by-bit copy of this, only the difference is for each group of sectors a hash value is generated. The tools that are used here is SafeBack, Encase and FTK Imager. Next is restored image. Restored image is an image that is been created from forensic duplicate or qualified forensic duplicate image. This is a bit risky as both of the media should be of same size. Mirror image is also a bit by bit copy with the two identical hard drives taken. This is a question which comes for 10 marks. Explain forensic image formats. So here we have three forensic image formats. We can take a complete disk image, partition image and a logical image. Complete disk image is a image of the hard disk in a complete form. For example, this is an image of the hard disk which gives you the scope of a complete disk image. For us, whenever we go through any of the hard disks, we can only see the partitions. Maybe partition 1 is our C drive and partition 2 is our D drive. The area that is accessible to the user is only these two. But apart from this also, it has OEM, original equipment manufacturer's partition, and the boot sector which the user cannot access. But the hackers may access and store some information into this. So it is very necessary to create a complete image of a hard disk. So with a complete disk image, a complete hard disk image can be created. Sometimes it is not possible to create a complete disk image. In that case, only the partition image can be created. This is what a partition image is. For example, an image or a copy of only C drive or only D drive. But the limitation is there may be also some data which is stored between the partition, aside of the partition, that cannot be captured into this. And in the least preferred condition, logical image can be created. Logical image is only same as what we copy files and folders into the pen drive. In any of the drive, in any of the partition, whatever the files and folders are there, only that can be copied. This is the condition, the scenario in which many of the companies does not allow to take the data that is on the server, to take a complete disk image or a partition disk image. So in that case, only logical disk image is possible. Okay, next question is how to perform a forensic duplication of a hard drive. Here we will see how to perform a forensic duplicate using DD command. DD is a data dump command which is used to perform a bit-by-bit copy of the original evidence or original media. So we have a bash script here which shows how the duplication can be done. We are taking a while loop here. DD is the command. If specify the path of the input file or the hard drive, of gives the media in which the forensic duplicate has to be done. BS represent the byte size, how much data has to be transferred in one operation, and count is the number of blocks to be transferred. So we want one block to be transferred at a time, and the size of this one block will be 2048K, what we have specified in byte size. And skip specify how many blocks to leave at the beginning of the hard drive, from where we need to start the thing, and the con represent the data conversion where it has to be. So this while loop will continue till the time a complete hard disk is duplicated. So this is a bash script which can be specified for the DD command. How to qualified forensic duplicate, how to create a qualified forensic duplicate of a hard drive using SafeBack. Qualified forensic duplicate of a hard drive can be done using various tools like Encase and SafeBack. Here we will do how to use SafeBack tool for creating a qualified forensic duplicate of a hard drive. SafeBack is a small application that is designed to run from a floppy drive or a USB thing. It has 4 operations. Various modes. Backup function. Backup function produces a forensically sound image file from the media. Restored image is restored function to restore any of the image. Verify function is also there, which is used to verify the checksum value within an image, the MD5 hash value, and the copy function to perform the backup and restored operation in one action. Altogether, instead of these two, copy function can also be used. Mostly the authors use backup function to create an image for creating qualified forensic duplication. Also, the SafeBack includes a logging function that records the options used by the user for each session. Next question, again for 10 marks. Explain RAID. RAID is redundant array of inexpensive disk. It is a technology that is used to increase the performance of the data storage. A RAID system consists of 2 or more drives working in parallel. There are different levels of RAID, but we'll be seeing some good popular levels of it. So first one was RAID level 0. Now this level 0 is used for storing the data. While storing the data, it splits the data into different drives. As you can see here, we have 2 drives here, and the data whatever is put up is alternately put up into the drive. It is split up in both of the drive. The advantage of this, it increases the performance of read and write operations, and it is easy to implement. But the limitation is, if one of the drive fails, then the data is half part of the data is lost. So now where to use such type of RAID 0 system? RAID 0 is basically ideal for non-critical storage of data, where if some part of the data goes, it doesn't matter, but where the speed plays the important role. So here for RAID 0 system, the accessibility, the speed of the system will be very high, but the data storage capacity, some of the critical data can't be stored in RAID 0. For that, there is another system, RAID level 1. RAID level 1 will also have 1 or more drives into it. The difference is that the data is stored twice by writing them on both of the drive. Here, whatever data is into drive 1, same data is there into drive 2. Both are the mirror image of each other. Here, if one of the drive fails, the data can be taken from another drive. Then what is the limitation? Limitation is the storage capacity is only 1/2. Even though we have 2 drives, that we are not using the both of the capacity for storing the data. Now where to use them? It is ideal for using them in mission critical storage, for instead of accounting systems and all, where the data plays an important role. So if one of the drive fails, the data can be accessed from the another one. RAID level 5 is a combination of RAID 0 and RAID 1. Here minimum 3 drives are required. The data is stored in all the drives, like some part of it, like it has done for RAID 0. To recover a particular data, parity checksum is done. So this is the advantage of this RAID 5. The limitation is what? The technology is complex here. If drive fails, that has an effect on the throughput, and although this is still acceptable. Where it can be used? It is ideal for file and application servers. Explain Foremost and Carving. Foremost is a console program to recover file based on their header, footer, and internal data structure. Earlier, it was used for law enforcement, but nowadays it can be generally used for data recovery tools. File carving is a process to recover the files without metadata. Usually, each of the file has a peculiar signature in the header, some type of hexadecimal values. For example, the Java class file has its first 4 bytes of hexadecimal value CA, FE, BA and BE. So from this particular value it can be identified the type of a file, which type of file it can be, and the file can be recovered. File curving is basically a highly complex task, and it doesn't has a specific answers or the output that can be accepted. There are a lots of permutation combinations which can be tried to get a output or the recovered data from a file. Explain web browser investigation, again a 10 marks question. Often the source of incidents and malware can be traced from the artifacts of the things that are found into the browser. Browser stores some information like navigation history, autocomplete data, which can also be given give the information about the data that are stored because it accepts the data, bookmarks, extension, login password, browser sessions, downloads, and the form data. So by analyzing all these particular information, the investigators can find out many of the details which can be accessed from the browser. The tools that can be used for the investigation are WEFA, Net Analysis, FTR, and ANCASE. Explain email investigation techniques and tools used for it. A very important question for 10 marks. Most of the time the question get twisted and come, but ultimately it is like email investigation, how the emails are investigated, which tools are used, and in other form. This particular answer I have already taken a created a video on email investigation, so you can just go through it. There are various steps in the email investigation: header analysis, byte text test, server investigation, network, software, and sender mailer fingerprints. So you can just go with that video as I have already released it earlier. And the forensic tool: email tracker pro, email tracer, and ad complaint. Explain investigating Windows system. 10 marks question. How to investigate a Windows system? So there are some steps which the investigators use for investigating the system. They review all the pertinent logs. Basically 3 important logs are system log, application, and security logs. System log records the system processes, device drivers, activities, and all. Application logs activities related to user program and commercial off-the-shelf applications. And security log. Security log is a very important log as it can be only read by administrator and hence a very useful log. It records the changes in user privileges, changes in audit file, directories, policies, printer activities, and so on. So investigators just go through these log files. They also perform the keyword searches. With the keyword they try to find out some of the information. Basically the information is related to the intellectual properties or any conversation in which the text is involved. Reviewing relevant files. There are also some files which the hackers use to store the information, like the files, temp file, cache files, and other file locations. Some files into the registry should also be tracked, or files that have been related by the hackers can also be tracked with the recycle bin. So other than the usual files and folders, these are also the places or the files which should be checked by the investigator. Next, identifying unauthorized user account or group. On the system, to find out if there is any other user account or a group that has been created, it can be identified using user manager. It can be traced using USR stat command or checking the event viewer. Using event viewer, it can be checked with the security log if any other user account has been created. To identify the ROS processes, the command that can be used is pslist, listdll, and fport. What are the different processes that are running on which particular port it is running. Investigators also try to find out all the hidden files because many of the files can be hidden using NTFS file stream. Checking for unauthorized access points. There are different, like Windows 2000 provides telnet server and all, through which the third party can access, have a remote access to the system. So all these things can also be checked. Examining job run by scheduler design services. A common trick by attacker is to have a scheduled event, start backdoor program from them, and then change the audit policy of perhaps more threatening, such as scheduled wiping of files. The AT command with no arguments can be used to find out if any job has been scheduled in such a manner. Next, analyzing trust relationship. Access to one machine may mean logical access to many other, as the machines may be connected to one another. Severity of the incident and scope of compromise raise the trust relationship. So trust relationship between the systems can be find out. If one system is compromised, it is possible like all the systems which have a trust relationship with that particular system may also have been compromised. And the last one, reviewing security identifier. To identify a user or group uniquely, SID is used. SID is a unique combination of computer identifier and user identifier. The SID found on the victim's machine is compared with those at the Central Authentication Authority to establish the action of a specific user ID. Each machine has a user ID common combination, and the user also have a combination. So a file, if created by one particular user, will have a combination of that computer and that user. So with this it can be found out whether it is the file is of the victims or the file is of the user whose system it is. So here we complete this particular unit. Thank you.